Welcome to Black Belt Beauty Radio, a podcast fueled by a passion to support your journey in developing your most beautiful and optimal performance in life. Each episode is driven with the intention to elevate your mind. When we elevate our mind, we elevate our life. So get ready. It's time to rise. Hey, you guys, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of Black Belt Beauty Radio. Today's Solosode, we're going to do a little journaling together. You know, I recently hosted a journaling workshop, a virtual one. We had such an incredible turnout. It was so much fun. Everyone who showed up and even who got the replay just sent me so much feedback about how powerful it was and how much they really loved it in the workshop. And I will create another one because it was so successful. It was so massive. I shared tactics and just different approaches to creating a journaling ritual. In this episode, what I want to do is just tease out some journal prompts for you. I've got 4 that are really powerful. And these are 4 that are pretty staple in my world. They're, questions that I like to ask myself quite often in my journal. And I think that they're going to be very supportive to you to constantly be checking in with yourself to determine, several things. But first and foremost, it's always important to see what's going on with our energy, right? Energy is, to me, the most expensive resource that we have. It's finite, right? When you wake up, it's not so much about, I only have this much time. Yeah, that. But what you really only have so much of is energy, right? So managing your energy and being aware of the distribution of your energy is really, really important. And it's something that you want to constantly be checking in with yourself on so that you can, best manage it. So these 4 journal prompts are going to help you to manage your energy better and ultimately just keep you very rooted on the path that you want to be living and living from. So the first journal prompt is, what is inspiring me right now? What's inspiring me right now? I'll give you an answer. What's inspiring me right now is being in studio recording episodes for you. I love it. I love the podcast. It's my baby. Every day that I get to podcast is one of my favorite days. I love putting out the episodes and getting your feedback, knowing that these episodes are doing so much for you. So I'm feeling very inspired just being here with you right now. What else is inspiring me? Man, I'm always inspired. I'm always inspired by, whatever's allowing me to grow more in my life, right? And that's coming at me from a lot of different directions because I'm always open to, learning so much more about how I can be evolving and how I can be growing. So yeah, I've got a lot of inspiration moving in. And of course, I'll just share this little behind the scenes fun fact for you right now. One thing that is absolutely inspiring me right now is the book that I'm writing. Can't say too much about it right now, but it's so special to me. I cannot wait to put this book out. It is, a subject that I know will be so supportive to all of my community because this is the stuff that you're so interested in. And I know that. So yeah, just writing my book and ultimately just like expressing, this heart work of mine keeps me very, very inspired. So ask yourself, what is something that is really inspiring you right now? Oh, and let me insert this. Probably should have said this at the beginning. When you are doing any kind of self-inquiry work, specifically journal prompts, leave self-judgment out of the picture, right? Put on the student lens. I always talk about that. Realize that you're a student of self. You're trying to gather really important information that's going to help you learn more about yourself, more about where you are, more about, how you're interacting with life so that you can ultimately create, your ideals from this, right? But if judgment comes onto the scene, it's not going to allow you to do that. You cannot be learning and judging at the same time. So don't feel pressured that, you have to have some kind of really wicked, awesome answer, with the first journal prompt. If you're having a hard time thinking about something that's inspiring you right now, because maybe you're going through some hard shit, First of all, I'm giving you a virtual hug. Second of all, let me help you with this. Maybe it's just like one little vibrational thought up. Like, can you be inspired that you're even just taking your time and energy to listen to this episode because you know that it's going to give you, or you believe it's going to give you something of value? I mean, that's pretty fucking inspiring, right? So the idea there is just to say that, you know, just you don't have to expect some massive, big, kick ass answer when you're doing these prompts. And honestly, another thing that you can do is you can literally just say, I'm not feeling very inspired right now. And here's why. Because that honesty piece is so badass. It's so important. And if you allow yourself to express that and then here's why, oh man, whatever's going to come from you there is actually really important. So I'm just inviting you, number one, to not have any self-judgment in this activity with you. Number two, to, not have an expectation or some kind of standard when you're approaching these prompts because that's contrived and it's not real. Number three, if you are having a hard time answering some of this, I mean, even just being honest and saying, I don't know, I'm having a hard time with this. And then just think maybe of, why that might be and expressing that, go for that. That is so, so powerful. You're in a conversation with yourself. That's what journaling is, right? And this is going to help you develop a very powerful relationship with yourself. So take all of that in and apply all of what I just said to you through every single prompt in this episode and any prompt that I'm ever giving you, right? Or you're getting from wherever you're getting it from. So, number two, what is something that is currently challenging you? What is something that is currently challenging you? Okay, I'll give you my answer. What is something that's currently challenging me? Yeah, what's something that's currently challenging me is just putting all of the essential pieces in place in my business to really scale everything, and to the vision that I have of it. And, it's a process, right? But it's a challenge. The process is a challenge, and challenge is healthy, right? I always say challenge is an opportunity, right? So this is not a problem. This is a challenge. And there is a big difference in that, at least to me. A problem is like, you're like, you're not looking at the situation with any kind of optimism or any kind of attitude where you're looking for a solution. It's just like, oh, this is a problem, right? But a challenge is inviting you to learn, to grow, to, just expand in some way, right? Like a challenge. Maybe you have to learn a new skill. Like for me, this is just my personal challenge is helping me become a more badass entrepreneur. It's developing my skills in business, right? So it's a really, I embrace it. I always say like, you got to be worthy of the battle and the victory. I am worthy of this challenge. And at the end of the day, like for me to get to the ideal, to the vision, I got to go through this shit. So I respect the challenge, right? So that's my current challenge. And it's a big one. What's your current challenge? And again, I mean, just be honest with yourself, and if you've got a lot of challenges right now, or maybe you were someone that was looking at your situation as a problem, maybe even write about that, and just like, this feels more like a problem, but I want to view it as a challenge. Open dialogue with yourself, but it's a really, really powerful question to ask yourself because here's the thing. When you start doing this continually, you're going to realize like there's always something that's inspiring you, even if you don't think there is. Again, the more you dig, the more you're going to realize you can cultivate answers that you would never think that you could, but you have to ask yourself the question, right, to get the answer. And you're always going to be facing some kind of challenge. Could be an internal, could be external, could be both, So just checking in with these questions, again, keeps the conversation with yourself consistently going and growing. And the answers that come from these two prompts alone are so, so powerful. It's really important information for you to develop your ideal self, your ultimate ideal expression of life, right? So just to rewind a bit. Number one, what's inspiring you right now? Number two, what's challenging you right now? Number three, these two are so fucking good. Just had to say that. Okay. Number three, what is giving you energy right now? So, what in your life is giving you energy right now? In my life, again, being here, right now with you. This gives me so much fucking energy, to just be in space and expressing myself. I'm an artist. This is part of my art, right? It's not that easy to always do, but it gets easier and easier. But ultimately, to me, suffering is to suppress your self-expression, right? So anytime I'm creating content for you, for my community, I'm expressing myself. And this feels really good. And it gives me a lot of energy. What else gives me a lot of energy? Oh man. Um, Writing my book, reading all my books, nature, every day, getting the sunlight. If I'm at home at the beach, it's being on the beach, home in the desert, it's being outside at the park, just, it's actually snowing in Las Vegas right now, which is crazy. But nature gives me a lot of energy. My food gives me so much energy. My food gives me a lot of energy actually. But yeah, just like the self-care practices give me a lot of energy. What's giving you energy? It's really powerful. Are there relationships in your life right now that are giving you a lot of energy? Are you learning something new that's giving you a lot of energy? Don't always just think like so in this kind of obvious answer. Think abstract in a way too, or invite yourself to start thinking that way, something that could be giving you energy right now. I don't know. Is it the song, that you're listening to right now or was before this episode? Just explore your mind. But this is such a powerful question to constantly be asking yourself, especially because you want to stay close to the things that are giving you energy, right? We want to constantly be energizing ourselves. I mean, this is where we're going to stoke our vitality, right? So this is important information. You want to remember what is giving me energy. This is why these prompts are really great prompts to do every single week. It's like this constant check-in with yourself. And they're so simple, but they're so potent, right? Speaking of potent, number 4, the final journal prompt. This one is it's so hardcore. It's so essential. It's so important. What is currently draining you? What in your life is currently draining your energy? Man, I want you to just think about this. Like, if you really answering these prompts week after week, can you imagine like every week? And you're doing it with a lot of honesty. Every week you check in and you're like, that was giving me a lot of energy. This was taking my energy. By the way, taking your energy can be something like overthinking. You're overthinking a lot. I do. This is something that totally steals my energy, right? It happens. It just does, right? But put that shit down, right? Because again, you're learning, you're studying yourself, right? Student of self has to study self, right? So what is draining you right now? Is it a toxic relationship? Is it, sitting too much, not getting enough movement? Is it, I don't know, whatever it is. Is it, maybe you're really heavily in the push right now. It's like a push season. You're, heavily in the masculine energy, which is like go, and you're not getting enough of, the nourishment, the feminine energy coming in, right? So what's currently draining you? This is so important because obviously, we want to we don't want to constantly be fixing ourselves in these scenarios that are draining us. But awareness is what's going to help us to know this information, right? So you got to ask yourself these questions and then you can start to take action on them. So what in your life, what is currently draining you? draining your energy in your life. So let's recap really quick. So journal prompt number 1 was, what is currently inspiring you in your life? Journal prompt number 2, what is currently challenging you in your life? Journal prompt number 3, what is currently giving you energy in your life? Journal prompt number 4 is, what is currently draining you in your life? So, so good. I really hope you loved those prompts. Now, let me take a moment. If you did love those prompts and you're loving, cultivating a journal practice, ritual, or maybe you already are an avid journaler, I want to invite you into Queendom. Queendom is my exclusive self-development membership for women. Journaling is a major modality that we use to help you get into the greatest relationship with yourself, to help you get clear on your life vision and break up that vision, So it's like, what's your vision for this year? What's your vision for this month? And help you to create smart, strategic goals to help you actualize the vision. So you have my coaching in there. You have tons of video content that helps you with exactly like this. So you have journal activation sessions where you get a digital journal called the Opulent Woman every month, where there's 15 journal prompts, and you get video content of me going through the prompts just like this, so that you can take it in on your own time. And then, in the live calls, you can ask me any questions, and we can really hone in and work on, where you are in your current stage of life, your current season. And there's a lot of other great assets that come with this membership. You can get more information on the membership in the show notes. Queendom is super special. It's the only place that I coach now. And I love holding this space where I can really help women on a mission to, develop your greatest self, to develop the greatest relationship with yourself. That's how you develop your greatest self, right? You have to get into a relationship with yourself. And I always say the inner shapes the outer. So when you're doing this inner work, and you're cultivating this really powerful relationship with yourself, your external life, your reality is going to reflect that. But we get really tactical about the external as well, because I'm a fucking gold digger, goal digger. I love visualizing something, reverse engineering that vision, creating the goals and attacking them, right? And this is the last piece that I'll add about this, because it's so huge. And I really think it's actually what makes Queendom very special and different. We don't do burnout in Queendom. What does that mean? It means we really honor actually what it means to be a woman, right? Even just from our biological clocks. I'm super dialed into our cycles and where we are hormonally and how that plays into our overall energy and how that impacts our performance. So that's always taken into consideration. And so there's a lot of fun learning that I'm excited to share with members in Queendom just on that subject alone. But also, it's this constant harmonization of the masculine feminine energy. So yes, we are edgy, driven, goal digging women who are, just really gritty and getting after it. But we also stay open and soft and do the self-nourishment activities, the self-care activities, the yin activities that allow us to actually operate our yang energy, our fire energy more optimally, right? So that is constantly happening with us in Queendom. It is not just this hard and dry, we got to win. No, we're going to fucking win. We're totally going to win, but we don't have to become rigid and burnt out and exhausted in the process. No, health in my world is always number one, vitality specifically, right? So this is really, really important in Queendom as we are, actualizing the vision and, moving through the process of achieving the goals. And ultimately, we just have a lot more fun doing everything this way. And I am all about having fun as much as I can in my life. So again, I'd love to have you, if you're one of my girls in my community, to come into Queendom. It's where we get to connect more, have more intimate time, where I can really support you with all of my heart. So ask me any questions, DM me on Instagram. If you're in YouTube, put something in the comments. Let me know what this episode did for you. With any of the journal prompts, really powerful. Again, Queendom membership, all that information is in the show notes. So check in there. And yeah, if you haven't already given this podcast a 5-star rating review, please do so. It means the world to me and my team. This podcast is growing. It is growing massively. And there's so much more to come from this podcast. And just know that you giving your 1 minute to just rate this podcast and review it is actually helping this podcast grow. And that's helping so many more individuals around the world get this really empowering content. So thank you to all of you who are going to take the time to do that. I love you guys, and I will see you on the next one. Thanks so much for tuning into this episode, you guys. If you loved it, please share it on your social. Throw it up on your Instagram stories and tag me. I'm at Black Belt Beauty. I am also at Roxy Look, RoxyLook. I love connecting with you guys. This is a conversation that I want to just continue growing with you guys. So if you feel inspired to hit me up, do so in that space. I always enjoy hearing from you. If you'd like to support this podcast, you can do so by rating it and reviewing it via iTunes. It's such supportive help, you guys. It really helps the visibility of this podcast. So I appreciate and thank you in advance for doing that. And on that note, you guys, I'm signing off with all my love and always looking forward to catching you on the next.